here's what you're giving the salt on.
Okay.
This is your question. Can a fat person live on body fat alone for 6 months as long as they consume water, vitamins, and minerals?
Absolutely. Wait. Am I answering seriously?
Yeah. Some sort
Ask it again. Again. Can you repeat the question, please, Amy?
Yes. I'll have a vowel, please. Can a fat person live on body fat alone for 6 months as long as they consume water, vitamins, and minerals? So no eating, no food.
That answers my question then, because I was going to say, is it my body fat or am I eating somebody else's?
Am I analysing a fat person?
I didn't understand
so well.
Okay, I get it now. Okay, sorry. Okay, good start. Right. No, because my brain wouldn't allow me to go to a place of not eating at all. So I was like, oh, really? Okay. Straight in with cannibalism. Brilliant. Right. Okay.
Strong starting topic, but I'm in.
Okay. Noted. Cannibalism is off the table.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I think we're all a bit shocked.
I'm shocked. I'm perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
So we're talking about someone who is fat, who is just going to have vitamins and minerals
and water.
But how about the others? How about our macros? How about we're going to get those gains in? How about the protein and the fat and the carbs? Like, are we talking about that as well?
No, just no solid food consumed through the face hole.
No, we die.
Who is sanctioning this? That's what I want to know. I'll eat them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Outrageous.
Okay.
I maybe technically survive, but I mean survive, not thrive, right?
Not
I don't know.
No, we die.
Oh no, 6 months. I thought you said 6 weeks.
Yes.
No, 6 months, man.
Oh, it's
your
a
organs
death.
would be like, I am tapping the fuck out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, death.
We wouldn't have protein.
As a certified health professional, that's my official answer.
Die.
Okay. So the context of this question, an Instagram influencer called Kirsty Leanne Travels. So we'll put her in whatever notes we've got with this. I'm assuming that we do that. Yeah. Kirsty Leanne Travels. You went on a trip with her, didn't you, Rach?
I'm going on. Well, I was only going on one more, but I just booked onto a luxury yacht Croatia trip with her just before logging on. But yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah. So
shameless plug.
Shameless plug for you, Kirsty Leanne. She is a plus size travel blogger. So she does retreats, which Rachel is clearly the #1 fan of. They're obviously very good. And she gives recommendations for plus size and fat-friendly travel. And she posted a reel on Instagram with her friend, which just shows 2 people enjoying a restaurant. And the caption of the reel was, we love an accommodating restaurant, which they mean, as you know, something that I don't experience is I can go to a restaurant and not have to worry about seating and just general moving about if tables are too close together, because I'm the only 4 of us who has that thin privilege. But the idea,
#token skinny.
Yeah, just showing that you don't hate thin people. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And that you don't eat them. Not enough body fat. Yeah, not enough body fat.
We've been slicing steaks off of her for the last couple of years.
It's the secret weight loss treatment.
But it depends what sort of eating we're talking about.
Okay,
fine. Amy did say don't get distracted. I've already messed that up. Right. Okay, sorry.
Cara.
Apologies.
My goodness.
Okay.
Otherwise.
Right. The reel went a bit viral. 2 people just enjoying a meal together, and it's getting a bit. Hold on, won't show that. Won't show the shoulder.
Move that shoulder away, you.
So this reel had gone a bit viral, and the trolls had, they'd heard the Pied Piper of trolls calling them to the reel, and one of the trolling comments was a suggestion that if you're fat, you can stop eating completely as long as you have water, vitamins, and minerals. And a lot of these trolls were saying that it's been done before, and that a man did a fast for 382 days, only consuming tea, coffee, sparkling water, and vitamins.
God, why would you do that to yourself?
I know, it made me feel very sad.
Can I clarify?
Mm-hmm.
The tea and coffee, was it with milk?
Yeah. Well, apparently sometimes
already
yeah.
a little research heads popped on like, sorry, I'd just like to clarify the parameters of this study.
Yeah.
So, well, that's the thing. They weren't even quoting a study. They were just saying it's been done before. A guy did
this bloke starved
who was the
himself
guy?
for a
Russell
bit and
Brand?
didn't
Come
die.
off it. Fuck off.
So I've gone and done the work for you.
I'm interested.
You have fasted for 365 days prior to this podcast.
I have tried the diet and
now in
of not eating. But it was funny because I was trolling a troll. I did get one of my comments removed for calling them a cunt. Sort of took it too far. But one of them had taken a quote straight off Wikipedia, like word for word. They just copied and pasted
Wikipedia.
it. Yeah. So the troll's main facts have come from Wikipedia, and it was in 1971 the Guinness Book of World Records actually published as the longest ever fast. So it was a guy called Angus Barbari. He's we're going to call him Mr. AB because that's what they call him in the case study that I then found on him. His 382-day fast was recognized as the longest recorded. And as of 2024, this was on the Wikipedia page, he retains the record for the longest fast without solid food. But the Guinness Book of World Records will not accept another entry because they don't actively encourage records that can encourage unsafe behavior. So that tells you a lot already. So they won't actually accept another fast of that length. But the Wikipedia page had 5 references, 3 of which are newspaper reports. Not very great evidence. One is the Guinness Book of World Records itself. And then the other is the case study written by the medical staff who facilitated this guy's fast. So off we go to the case report. I know you guys are all just like so thrilled about this journey that I'm taking you on.
This is good rabbit holing. I like it.
Yeah. So a case report, if for people listening or if you're not in like sciencey or give a shit about science, case report is considered like one of the lowest forms of evidence because it's usually about a single patient. It's usually just to showcase like unusual or like random kind of like novel conditions that you don't see every day, or it might be the start of then doing further research. So if they'll get one case report, and then if that's worth then looking into, you might see some other studies done on that particular area. So already anybody who cares about evidence and science, if you tell them that this is based on a case report from 1971
and 3 news reports,
then
Wikipedia,
they just wouldn't care about the details. They just wouldn't care about the details because they're going, well, it's a case report from the 70s and this hasn't been repeated since, so clearly that tells us everything we need to know. But for the sake of this recording, we will carry on. We will continue. The case report itself is very poorly written. Like there's just, by today's standards of research, there's just so much information missing, like the fact that the guy was allowed to go home for most of the time.
Yes, I was wondering this, the monitoring of it. Yeah.
So he started the first few weeks in a hospital under supervision, and then eventually he was allowed to go home. And it was actually himself, he decided to carry on the fast for that long. So
he says.
Yeah, well,
why?
Why? Listen, we've all seen those Guinness Book of Records people. They're there with their clipboards. Oh, sorry, it didn't count because I wasn't watching. But there's no way. I don't even believe the Guinness Book of Records on this, let alone any of the other stuff. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. So he was given supplements, something called multivite, vitamin C and yeast for the first 10 months, and it sounds delicious. And then something called Paladak. These are the supplements that he was given.
Knick-knack, Paladak, give a dog a bone. Sorry.
He was allowed to drink non-caloric fluids freely, so that's your tea, your coffee. One of the newspapers actually said
calories in it.
One of the newspapers said that he occasionally put sugar in his tea, and to be honest, it's probably saved his life. So
yeah, but the man might as well just been fucking snacking on like jelly babies or some shit. Come on.
And he probably needed to, because otherwise he would have died, I think. Well, more on that later. He had additional supplements on certain days, and it was one of the things that I highlighted in the study. They were going to collect stool samples, but his bowel movements were so infrequent, with 37 to 48 days between stools towards the end of the fast.
Oh my God.
Imagine like giving yourself gut dysmotility just for the bowels.
Yeah.
And I bet they were like bullets as well.
I mean,
Oh,
this is one of those like prime examples where they're called. I mean, even the title of the case report is "Successful Fast."
Successful
because he didn't. These are the this is the standard for success. He didn't die and he lost weight. Like the bar is so low.
I'd love to know what Gillian McKeith would say about this, because he didn't die, but the poo was off. The poo was off. She wouldn't be happy.
No. I mean, there was no poo to even look at for.
Well, yes, she wouldn't be happy.
So she's not happy.
She'd be fuming. Yeah. So, also, I definitely think he was putting sausages in his tea. I'm telling you now, because listen, something was going on there, because he would have died. And also, just a quick anecdote. I'm not getting distracted anymore, I promise. When I did Atkins, I once bought a packet of custard creams, and I didn't eat the biscuit. I just licked all the cream off and told myself that was okay, because it was within Atkins guidelines. People do wild shit when they're dieting and they're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you convince yourself. So he was whacking sausages and all sorts in that tea, I'm telling you
I
now.
reckon he was full on like sleep eating.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he invented that butter coffee thing.
Him. Yes.
It was him.
It was him.
Yes.
Angus.
Rotty bastard.
Lots of sausages slide down so nicely.
If I don't chew,
and out every month.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Angus at home and his wife saying, "Angus, what you doing, love?" And he's like, "Oh, he's opening a tin of like baked beans. I'm just making a cup of tea." Like just
beans and them little mini
down in there.
Pouring it into a mug.
I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe that someone can sustain themselves on that. So I'm with Cara. There must be sausages involved. Okay. Like there has to have been.
Maybe not sausages, but he had blood tests done to manage his blood glucose levels and his his tolerance to blood sugars rising and all that sort of thing. And these tests, so I had to look this up separately. Glucose tolerance tests are actually done by injecting pure glucose into the body. And he had that done on average about once a month. So that probably stopped him from dying. And the same with the glucagon tests. That's given intravenously to then take the certain measurements. But just again, for context, glucagon is what's given to people who are about to have a hypoglycemic shock. So where their blood glucose levels are so low, it's given for the treatment of people who are literally about to die, whether they might have overdosed on insulin or something like that. So it's even with the glucose injections, it's like pure sugar going into the body. So that may have been able to sustain him. But what was interesting, they reported his results, and all of the levels of what makes a human healthy, his levels were all so fucked up. His blood glucose levels were around 30 mg per 100 milliliters. So for context, having severe hypoglycemia is below 40. And they're reporting all of this stuff. His all of his levels were very low, but they just maintained throughout that, patient was happy and able to go about his daily life, which is just insane.
Happy?
Yeah, well,
I would not be happy.
Yeah, no.
But what was he doing in daily life? Nothing too strenuous, surely.
Well, apparently he had to quit his job, but that was reckoned because he worked in his dad's fish and chip shop, and he probably just couldn't bear to be around the food.
Come on.
Like, we can't put this man through further psychological torture.
Told you it was a Savoy in the tea. No,
I'm
just using it to stir.
Just making a cup of tea, scooping some chips out of his mug, just having a brew, love. Yeah.
The man lost his job though.
Well, he quit.
His brain wasn't working properly.
Yeah.
The
thing is, he's probably going about his day to day, but not well. He's probably walking into rooms and forgetting who he is. And
he's probably just slugging from the bed to the sofa and then slugging back to the bed again.
Yeah, with his
he's happy, mate.
Tea.
He's not happy. He's fucking delirious.
Yeah,
I keep like, but why?
The other thing is, there's very little from Angus himself. Like, there's no there's no interviews or that sort of thing. It's all very, very iffy. There's just not much on it to find at all, apart from what a few newspapers say. And bear in mind, this happened, the case report was written in 1971, but the fast was in the 60s.
It's very 60s science.
Yeah, so it was a long time ago, and thankfully we have come a long way. Like I said, nothing like this has been repeated in science since, for obvious reasons. Yeah. They did note that he fainted a few times during testing. That was when he was having the glucose injected.
Pathetic.
The glucose infusion, probably because his body was going, good Lord, what do we do with this sugar? And just deciding to faint. But yeah, that's when they then but otherwise he was happy and could go about his normal day.
I remember having the glucose tolerance test when I was pregnant. It was horrendous.
Horrid.
It was horrible.
Hated it.
The stuff you got given to drink, that was disgusting. But actually, it made me feel so ill as well. Did it make you feel ill, Cara?
Yeah, and I actually was convinced I was gonna test positive for gestational diabetes, because with both, actually I had to do the test 3 times because one of the pregnancies they messed it up once, but every single time I felt very, very faint and I had to be taken off I nearly passed out. So I was like, oh well, that's it then, that must mean I'm not reacting well to the glucose, and therefore but every time it came back negative. I think it was just my body was just like, this is
normal
not
reaction.
fun. I don't like it.
After fasting, and then when
that's the other thing as well. Yeah.
And you're pregnant as well and growing like another person inside of you. It's the most horrific. I hated it. It was horrible. And it impacted me for the rest of the day as well. So I can't imagine what it was like after so many days doing that fast, then having glucose being injected directly into you as well. He must have felt awful for days. Yeah. There's something going on here with this paper. There's
so in the discussion, this bit's horrific, and why they even decided that they were going to repeat this. There had been 5 fatalities linked to total starvation prior to this. So
only 5, it's fine.
Because apparently the refeeding period can be really dangerous as well. So
absolutely fucking brutal.
Yeah. So somebody died, and this was just from in 1965, a 3-week fast. They died during the refeeding, developed complications. That was just from a 3-week fast. Obviously, this guy's done 362 or whatever it is. 2 deaths from ventricular failure during the past. All 3 did have pre-existing heart issues, but again, with fasting, your body can break down your muscles, and it doesn't give a shit which muscles it takes from. It will take from your cardiovascular system. So if you've got a heart problem already and your body is using, your cardiac system tissue, then death. And that happened to 3 different people in another study. And then we've got somebody who died from a small bowel obstruction on the 13th day of fasting, probably due to like rock solid poo.
Oh. Yeah, rock solid poo, building up, obstructing, causing a bowel perforation, and a horrible, horrendous, painful death.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another one as well. After a 210-day fast, another death occurred during a refeeding period in 1969. So,
but did they get the beach body?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I think they got a coffee body.
Oh no!
Yeah,
coffin cheek.
Yeah, they achieved the mold body.
Like beautiful.
Yeah. They were lying there on the deathbed. They were like, "Make sure to play Drop It Like It's Hot" as they lower me down.
Yeah.
Fucking sick.
Awful.
Is it a good time to let you know about my brand new program that's all about fasting? Just fast for a whole year and you'll lose loads of weight, be fine. Yeah. It's only going to be £150 actually per month.
Body ready.
I've made a specific supplement for it as well. It is the Jeanette supplement as well. It's going to cost you another £50 to get that subscription.
Hurry you on your way. Arsenic, I know what I meant.
I want to know, so these people that you were just talking about who died, were they before or after Angus?
Before.
And so did Angus know about these people?
So it sounds like, because they wrote some of them were before and some of them were during the same time, but because they wrote the case study a few years after they'd done the fasting with Angus, some of them had happened prior, some of them had happened during, and then there was one in 1970 that was a small bowel obstruction. So after he'd finished his fast. And no, he probably wouldn't have known about any of these.
That's nice. It's so ethical.
Up to
so ethical.
60s.
Yeah, luckily we've come a long way in terms of ethics and
I'm glad.
Things. And what was interesting is after I wanted to see if there was anything even similar to this on PubMed. So I scoured all the similar article links and the cited by links, and long-term fasts have only been repeated on animals up until, after this point and up until now. And there's absolutely no long-term study on the effects of long-term fasting. So we've got no idea what effects this has on all-cause mortality. However, Angus died at 52.
Oh.
So
do we know
not
what?
the not
no
the
statement from Angus
healthiest,
then.
Yeah, not the healthiest maybe. Dying at 50, they don't actually know which year he was born in, so he was either 51 or 52. His Wikipedia page weren't sure on his year of birth.
Oh, that's sad. I feel sad for Angus that he experienced that for like over a year of his life. But also, like, where my brain goes to with the fasting stuff is, I suppose we technically do have data with weight loss surgery.
Ah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not technically fasting.
It's not fasting, though, is it? It's not the same.
But the reduction in calories is fast.
Starvation, removal of all caloric source.
Yeah, it's achieving.
According to whatever that troll was called, I can't remember. I was the one who sent Amy the comment. It's fine, mate.
And I think that was the striking thing. It was even though this is based on this is based on one man who they didn't really know that much about, other than it was claimed he lived on tea, coffee and water for however many days. That's okay. If you're fat, you should just go and do that. You should just go.
Whoa! So you mean these people were not personal friends of Angus that were commenting on this Instagram post?
No, I doubt they knew him.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, they weren't celebrating his world record. They were essentially saying that how dare you as a plus size or fat person expect the world around you to accommodate you when you can just go and not eat and live off your and survive off your own body fat. That's
if I remember correctly, the initial comment was something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, if you look like that and you're that size, you shouldn't be eating at a restaurant anyway. To which Kirsty rightly responded and being like, you do realise that you do have to eat.
Yeah.
People need to eat. And then that was what prompted the response saying, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You should go 6 months without.
Yeah.
Like, wow, we're
there. That's where we're at with anti-fatness.
That's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
Skipping diets, fucking stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Skip diets, go straight ahead to just not eating at all.
I mean, props to the guy. He had a source. It was a shit one.
It was Wikipedia.
Man did the bare minimum.
Yeah, quoted from Google and the Daily Mail, and that was the thing.
And the bastion of knowledge that is the Guinness World Record.
One of the newspaper articles was from last year, so they had they've dug this story back up to be like, hey, look, this fat person didn't eat and lost weight. Everyone
and didn't die at the time.
Yeah, and didn't die
in his 50s.
He died horribly several years later of cardiac.
How did Angus die?
But again, I couldn't find the details. It just said he died after a short illness, but he was early 50s, which is no age, is it?
No.
It was even choking on a sausage in his tea. Actually,
his tea was too lumpy.
Savoy got him in the end.
It's almost as if, starvation isn't actually good for us. Oh my God.
Nonsense.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the fact that nothing like this has been repeated since tells you everything you need to know from a scientific point of view. Even the Guinness Book of World Records will not accept fasts anymore. So that even they know the bare minimum of how to, keep a human safe. There was no long-term follow-up of Angus and, how healthy his body was. There was no follow-up of his stats after the fast.
Doesn't matter.
He died in his 50s. And there's absolutely no health data on long-term fasting of any kind, because intermittent fasting, which is now the more modern suggested fast. Your face, Cara.
Can't stand anyone who talks about intermittent fasting. I just, to bore off. Fed up with it.
But that's the modern suggestion, is intermittent fasting, even though most people who sleep already do that without trying. Unless you've worked out a way to eat in your sleep, which is impressive. But
when people are like, well, your digestive system needs to rest, I'm like, do you not sleep?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like that's exactly what our sleep is for. We don't intermittent fasting. We've got so much research to show how actually it's not great for us. It's not great for us mentally and physically.
I do the 16-8 fast, where I fast for 8 hours and then allow myself to eat for the 16 hours, but I'm fucking awake.
Starting your morning with the old Savoy and the tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little baked bean chaser if I'm feeling spicy.
So intermittent fasting, we don't even have any long-term health data on that, even though it is all the rage, and we have no control refeeding studies. So to try and use Angus as example as a way to generalize and say that this is something that if you're fat you should do and you can do, and you'll be better off for it, basically just shits all over science and shits all over human beings. I think one of my last comments was, why don't you just admit that you hate fat people and think it's okay to starve them? Because that would be better. I would have more respect for you than you arguing an incorrect point from a study that you haven't read. Because that's basically what they're saying is you deserve mistreatment.
Yeah.
You
deserve violence just because of how we look.
You deserve to suffer because you have indulged is the main takeaway. But yeah, the answer is, can you survive on body fat alone for 6 months as long as you have water, vitamins and minerals? Maybe, but don't. Yeah, but why would you? Just because you can, don't.
You are not going to thrive. You are going to die.
Not good for you at all. R.I.P. Angus.
R.I.P. that man.
Yeah.
Poor man.
Poor man.
Your name.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Coffin body ready, but gone too soon, I think.
Still in the Guinness Book of Records. Will be there forevermore.
I mean, his memory.
Really though? Have they taken that out though? As a sort of this is not an aspirational thing. Is it still in there? Do you think?
No, it's in the 1971 book. Like they have a one a year, don't they? Yeah. So he's immortalized in that time period when standards were lower.
Yeah.
Before health and safety came in. But yeah, that's what I found out on Angus. Thanks, Troll, for giving us something to talk about.
Absolutely.
What a great thing he did. That trolling turned into this podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Still
yes.
Still an absolute prick.
So final thoughts on starvation diets.
Not for me.
Yeah. Unless you're eating someone else.
If humans are part of the diet, I'm in.
Starvation diet, red light, cannibalism. I mean, hashtag coffin body ready is, I suppose, my
aspiration goals.
Yeah.
Hashtag goals.
Drop it like it's hot.
Into a coffin.
Right. Well, I hope everyone enjoys their Savoy tea tomorrow.
Looking forward to mine. I'm going to have mine with side of butter.
When you take a sip, it will touch your nose.
No, I want you to kind of sip with your mouth open.
Yeah.
Just caress.
Goodness me! Whoa! You had a go at me for bringing the tone down earlier. Look at you deep throating a glass. Christ alive! Unbelievable scene.
You're welcome.
She's done that
People
before.
who are listening, you missed out.
If anyone listening was under any, doubt, you have to eat no matter what your size is. You will malnourish yourself. You will potentially die.
You need sugar, mate. It's like it fucking works on.
Yeah.
We deserve nourishment. Yes.
In which case, don't need your brain. So.
Yeah. And did Angus eat no food? We don't know what he did in his own time. We don't know what he put in his tea. So yeah, it's a 0 out of 10 from this person.
Yeah.
0.
0 out of 10.
Agreed.
See you all next time.
I mean, I don't think anyone's coming back to listen to this.
What? Certainly not Angus.
Right up my
Angus.
Oh, shout out Angus. Shout out Troll.
Savoy for him.
Yeah. I don't think I will.
Right.
He's out there somewhere going, I don't even like Savoy.
I'm a fucking vegetarian.
Linda McCartney's were going to the tea. Linda McCartney's. I don't know why Angus is a Cockney, an angry Cockney. I don't know where
he was Scottish. He was Scottish. Go on. He was Scottish.
No. Nice try. I nearly went. No.
I've been Amy Snelling.
I've been Jeanette Wesson. Oh, Thompson Wesson.
I'll
do both.
You're so greedy. How many names? What are you playing at?
So many fucking names. Jesus.
Jeez.
Sorry. God.
All right. Well, I've been Cara Frangipan McBee.
Nice.
But if we're having extra names, I'm giving myself an extra one. That's that.
And I've been Rachel Wardle.
Adios.
Bye.
Oi, oi, sabaloi.